Hi, Steve.
Hey, Anastasios. Good afternoon. Hey, morning. Okay. Right. But excuse me, a little bit
Do-
low on numbers,
Oh, sorry.
but um, I'll start
I'll
sharing.
send a quick reminder in Slack that we have the meeting running. We have less people than usual. Is there something that's going on today? Do you all know?
Not that I'm aware of. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right screen to share. Yeah, Aurelian did mention that he is full way. Let me see if anyone else from the AC sent apologies. No, I know Greg has some other stuff going on, so he might not be able to join you. Yeah, we are pushing not close to quorum as it stands. Guess we can give it another minute or two, see if anyone else is able to join.
Sounds good.
Oh, got one more. Oh, good morning, Swanko.
Good morning, good afternoon. Check, check. Can you hear me?
It's all good. We can hear you now.
Oh, okay, great.
I guess we will crack on where we can. Even though we're a little bit short. So we had a lot of actions last week or last couple of weeks. So I've tried to do some updates and knock some of those off. So I guess we can go through these first. We've got the kind of ongoing making the cocoa non-TE test required. The tests are still unstable. We've got obviously a nice patch of red, which we won't blame anyone for. But when our whole CI was taken out, but we also had even beyond that, we had a failure today. There's a new host name test case, which is a bit flaky. It did also fail on CLH tests, but in the instance of trying to track this, I created a new issue, which I should probably link, so that we can at least collate and understand what's going on. I also spotted that the block volume tests are failing on Firecracker, Stratover, and TDX, so I've got a PR to skip those for the moment, which I'm not sure if it's working. I've not reviewed the test output yet. We have an action which unfortunately I have not got around to, I'm afraid, Ildiko. I'm been a bit swamped, which is to review the Kata onboarding deck and either update the Etherpad or add comments here. So that one, I'm guessing no one else has. So I think we need to carry that forward.
Yeah, so I did a quick check. I haven't jotted down any specific comments, but we need to update the release. So it's up to release 2.0. So there are a lot of there is a lot of functionality that we need to update. Also, we need to somehow mention the Rust runtime. So and the transition to the Rust runtime. So this is kind of an important aspect. I'm not sure if the figures need to change, the architecture figures, and if there are sources for the figures. There are built in PowerPoint, in the Google Slides. Okay.
Yeah. So from the some of the architecture we've seen, there is some changes that for figures that we use on the website that we've updated recently. Although at least if this Kata V2 should be slightly more up to date than the website one where we were still on the 1.0 architecture. But
I mean, depending on which diagram, I can look into which are the diagrams that we have the source files for. I don't know which ones were created by our design team and which ones weren't, but I'm happy to investigate that. If you all can let me know what needs to be updated. Also, if you need a deadline, I'm giving a presentation about Kata. I think it's a 30-minute one on March 7th, I believe, at Opening Fridays North America. And I have to be honest, as a person who's not working on the code and not running Kata for all kinds of things every day, it's really hard for me to figure out, especially with the minor releases, what the changes exactly are and how they are relevant to a user. And in many cases, people in the audience are also not the people necessarily who are the developers who will be working on the code right away, but maybe people who are trying to think about how to put this thing into their system. So what is relevant to them? But this also brings me to another topic, but I will bring that up separately at one point. But to me, it would be really helpful if you all could help me figure out what is an important change, and what are the things that are more the day-to-day, fix the bug, made things more hardened or secure, but doesn't change the user experience kind of things. Does it all make sense, or am I just rambling? I haven't had coffee yet. I'm sorry.
No, I think that makes sense. I think as we talked before, I think it's going to be a challenge to go back, I guess, like coming up for 3.5, 4 years or something and pick those out. But I think we could at least do some big hits like the restaurant time going in as part of the 3.0 release. I've jotted down the introduction of some of the Cocoa features, so I can find out where that was, which release that was, and we can pull those out. I think in terms of making like the timeline slide, I don't think we want to talk about every release anyway, so
No.
we don't need that granularity. So I think just picking out some big highlights like that would be a good start.
I mean, for this one, I can put on the like 3.0 and maybe the one of the last minor releases highlighting that there's one every month or something. I'll figure something out. So we definitely don't have to pick something from every minor release. But even if y'all can think about like how Kata is today, like what are the things that are most important to users, or what are the things that you as people who are working on the code on the daily find most important, like this is your priority because. So those things that you want people to know about Kata when they are learning about what the project is. It would be really helpful to me if I understood what you see important from your perspective, and then I can put a story around it in a presentation.
Yep. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay, great. And another point I think is to engage people, make them eager to see the 4.0 release.
Yeah.
To maybe provide the roadmap that we have. That 4.0 release will have this, and that. So that's one thing that we need to update. I'm not sure how we can present that visually, but could be on the evolution slide, could be on the roadmap slide, or another slide maybe. I'm not good at that at this at all.
That's okay. I'm here to help with all that. And I mean, if you all can give me information and pointers before March 7th, then I can do my presentation and then I can focus on having the overview deck updated with those items from that presentation and overall that are more that are less frequently changing so that we don't have to update the slides all the time. But I think the roadmap is a good idea because then the roadmap can be turned into a slide with a slightly different title, but similar content once 4.0 is actually out. So that doesn't require a lot of updates on the slides. So I think that's a great idea. And having a teaser that, hey, it's coming. It's probably also something that will make people excited. I like that.
Can you I think you posted a link to that in Slack. I don't know whether it's worth bumping it, if only so that I can add a reminder to myself. Unfortunately, I'm on vacation next week, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to look at it tomorrow.
Oh.
So I can. My to-do list is quite often made up of Slack reminders, so I don't know if anyone else would find that helpful.
Oh, you want the link when I posted this need on
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
could try and find it myself.
I think
I
I
don't know if I
found.
can work out which channel it's in, but I guess maybe we can, if we get some content seeded, then we can ask the community to see if there's anything else that they want. So maybe that's a better approach.
I think that was the one. I think that's the original that I just put in.
Okay.
I can also put out another reminder referring to this one.
So that is Kata. Yeah, I see it. Cool. I had a reminder.
Thank you
Well
all. Apologies. I wish I could work on be more hands-on with Kata. But yeah. Also, as we said, there are a lot of things that have happened and a lot of work that you've done since that slide deck was last updated in detail. So and I wasn't here for all of it. So
Yep.
very helpful if you can help me figure out what was the high priority, what was necessity, and all kinds of things.
Yep,
Thank
makes
you.
sense. VMT, I don't think we've done anything on adjusting that team, so I think we'll need to carry forward. It's unfortunately an action item that doesn't really have an owner because I'm not sure we know who is ultimately responsible for that, but we'll see. Swanka, you had an action to look into GitHub tooling over Launchpad. Have you had a chance to look at that yet?
No, not yet. I was swamped with some internal shenanigans.
It
So
seems everyone seems to have been swamped
yeah,
last
this
week.
week
I don't
was
know what it,
crazy.
yeah, it's been
So
similar here.
you are off for 1 week next week?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's
Okay.
school holidays in the UK.
Okay, great.
So on the metrics runner, for a bit of context, we had a discussion about kind of next steps that we could take. And in the short term, we thought if we could get the runner back going, that would be good. I reached out to Salvador, and there is a new runner that's been provisioned. I have enrolled it as a self-hosted runner for us. So it's Kata Metrics Bare Metal. It is running now, but the tests are not running. So it's just the runner. So it will go in, check out the code, and then go, yeah, we're happy. Let's continue. So it unblocks the test. We had an issue where the CI was just waiting for it, but it needs setting up, and it doesn't look like there's any scripts or documentation of how to set up the
So-
metrics service. So
Can you elaborate a bit? What do you mean setting up the runner?
so the metrics tests, if we go into it, they have some expectations. So they do, I think they start with a kata deploy. So I asked Salvador and Gabby, they said that it needs a bunch of dependencies to be able to build kata. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't know why we would need to build. I think we could just install the pre-built, but we do need an environment to install Kata onto. It might be that it's as simple as install Kubernetes, configure containerd to use the Kata runtime, and then we're away. But there might be some other stuff, yeah, because there's not any documentation of the prereqs here. But I can add others like from the AC to have access to this runner if that's helpful.
I can take this task. I mean, I think it's important to have the metrics runner running, so I can take this task. But I would need a bit more information of the on the. I mean, you think we need to log into the machine to set up the runner, or
Yes, yeah, we'll need to log onto the machine and
Okay,
set up Kubernetes and configure it to use the Kata runtime. I don't know if there's anything more than that needs doing, but that would be a good first start.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Cool. And we do have scripts for obviously, well, maybe not. We removed the Kubernetes ones, but yeah, I think just documenting the process that we need to do and adding it would be useful because stuff like this can happen again. A bare metal runner's never, well, isn't going to last forever. Although the code looked like it's 7 years old when the metrics tests jobs were first added.
Okay, yeah, makes
So
sense.
yeah, I'll give you, yeah, if you can just ping me your SSH public key, then I'll add you to the authorized keys list and check you can SSH in.
Okay, yeah, great.
We had some discussion about a wider performance testing as well, and things were useful. So I had an action item which to identify what we want to measure and how and create an issue. So it wasn't assigned to anyone, so I created the initial issue. I've put a couple of bits that we talked about, but yeah, please feel free, anyone, to just go and edit the description and add stuff in. Things I focused on are we want to check for regressions and we want to collect some benchmarks, and we needed a dedicated bare metal runner for stability, and the idea that we talked about letting users create their own benchmarks rather than us, because it's very environmental specific. So if you're interested, I know Sonko and Stasios, we had a discussion last week, so please feel free to go in, update it, add anything you like in there.
Mm. I like so many stuff, but I will keep it for performance-related topics.
Yes, anything you like in the performance. I mean, you can add off-topic things, but we might have to keep it there. Cool. So, any other questions on the actions carried forward, which I appreciate is quite a significant chunk of the meeting then. Okay, cool. So, the next topic I wanted to bring up, as we are fast approaching the middle of the month, is the Kata 3.14 release, which I think would be due around Monday. So I guess maybe a better question before the when and the who is there any things that we need to resolve first? So a couple of potential ideas, which are definitely not mandatory, is the version of ImageRS we're using is quite old, so there are some related CVEs and problems in it, and it's blocking the kernel being bumped. I am working on that bump. It may or may not, the test might have just passed as we speak. I'll put a link into it for tracking purposes, transparency, so we might be able to do that. The other thing I didn't know we want to talk about, Anastasis, you mentioned that we've got some issues with the tags when we generate the release or something. So we've still got our new releases are still all tagged with the 3.3.
Yeah, with the last tag, I guess that we had
Yeah.
GitHub before the GitHub release. I'm not sure, but
Yep.
I think someone mentioned correctly that it's a shallow tag, something like that. So we just need to change something in the script that tags it, so that extracts the tag. So it's something that I do have a patch. I can issue a PR easily.
Okay.
And regarding that, I would volunteer to take on the release, but I would definitely need some help because I don't feel like I'm super ready to.
Okay.
You are. You can create a PR
Yeah,
and then it's done.
is pretty straightforward. So
Yeah.
I'll find the documentation. But yes, absolutely, we are here. Well,
I would feel more confident if we did that together, maybe with Vonko or with you, Steve. I don't know if.
Yeah, Steve is off, so we can do it on Monday if you want.
Okay. Yeah, it would be great. I think that I can accommodate your time zone, so my afternoon, early evening is your morning. So if you're free,
Yeah, what you can do is tomorrow bump the version,
Mhm.
right? Create a PR, bump the version to see if all the artifacts are building, and then on Monday we can share a screen and just hit one button, and you will see that the release process is easy peasy and boring.
awesome. Okay.
So do you think we should get this version tag issue fixed? And I guess if you've got PR, that's something we can hopefully get in.
Yeah, I can do that now so that we can.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's
Actually,
got any strong opinions on ImageRS and the kernel bump. I'm not particularly worried myself if it goes in. I just thought I would mention it. I know Fabiano was trying to push for this, but he's not on the call. Yeah. That was what was blocked by the Rust 180 bump. So yeah, if they go in, they go in. If they don't, I'm personally not too worried, but I didn't know that if anyone else is concerned about these for any downstream stuff, or if there's any other bugs or PRs that people are particularly keen to get merged. It's probably worth noting that the SMP is not going to work on this release because of the init.rd being back level. So the components, Fabiano's bumped the components to be built on 2204 rather than 2004 because it's going end of life. And the SMP init.rd is still based on 2004. So I think there's going to be glibc incompatibilities. There's not a Cocoa release associated with 3.14, so I don't think that's a big issue, but I don't know if that might be something we should mention in the release notes or not. Yeah, I guess I can put. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess Sonko's you're probably the person most interested in SMP on the call. Is this going to block you?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, not at all. I'm running 2404 and 2204 for my init.rds with SMP.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and my host is 2410. So no, I'm from the GPU point of view, the TDX and SMP stuff on my side is like already on 2404 and tested.
Cool. Great, thank you. Okay, so we'll look for these. So we'll put I'll put them as nice to haves in here. So non-blocking.
Yeah, if they're in, they're in. If not, not. We are starting the process on Friday, and then.
Yep, that is fair. And yeah, should be if it's just in terms of needing PRs reviewed and stuff like that, I should be near a computer, or I can make sure I'm near a computer for that. Cool.
Definitely not.
We'll put, we can add you to the release router afterwards, Sessos. Cool. Reaching, I guess, we've got this PR about the YQ upgrade for RISC-V support. Do you want to talk about that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Actually, I don't think there is many thing to talk about this. Since the version I proposed is just the version which RISC-V support is introduced. So
Mhm.
this PR has been raised for several days, I think, and is the version not is this not the right version for it, or is there anything I left behind that from this PR gets merged? Since the YQ is missing in RISC-V architecture, and it's blocking many assets and even some components from building. So this is a blocker for the works I've been doing.
Yeah, so my hunch is it's a PR people haven't noticed. Unfortunately, we've got been quite a lot of churn recently. So yeah,
Okay.
I reviewed it. It looks fine to me. Fabiano kicked off the tests. All of the required tests were passing, so I don't think there's a significant issue with it. I think we just need another reviewer, and they can see it's not it's not going to take very long to review that. So
Okay. Okay. Besides that, I about our CI system, I tried like the last PR merged is my PR merged is the piece PR of Dragon Ball that I tried to force push to restart the PR like 15 times to eventually get a passed CI test result.
okay,
Can we somehow improve this?
have you got what's the PR number so we can have a look at the flow?
Um, let me take a look. I mean,
It's possible it's related to the Rust 180, but let's have a look.
um, 10839.
Oh, okay, so this was merged in. So I guess was it just that you had issues
Yes,
with,
I tried
you know,
like 15 times to eventually get a passed CI result.
so do you
I've
know
started
which,
over and over.
yeah, which was the test that was failing, or was it multiple?
That's the problem we encountered before, that the static checks are not starting, and yes,
Okay, so
that's it.
static checks is related to the OK to test label, but that was in. So when you say force push, probably, and it might be that you don't have permission, in which case probably would be best to ask. But because our CI is arguably, I'll say it is a bit flaky. So like you can see here on this PR, and this might be my fault, bad PR, but you can see I've got required tests failing. So rather than force pushing all of them, oh, this is the TDX run instead. So it's not queued up, but I'll
So,
show you an
so can
example.
we just? Oh,
It's
sorry.
better to the approach I would recommend is rather than force pushing, because that means everything restarts and you have to gamble for all of them to pass. Sorry, I should, yeah, TDX failing is ruin it. There is an option to just rerun the failed tests, so that's probably, obviously we want the CI to be more reliable, and unfortunately we had 4 or 5 days where it was broken due to um, as we mentioned, the issue with a BusyBox
Oh, yes.
extracting and wiping the runners clean and stuff like that, which is definitely added some instability in this period. But if these finally close, then I'll try and show you an example. But yeah, you can do rerun failed jobs. So I'm guessing you might not have access to that at the moment. So feel free to ping one of us or tag over on Slack or tag in the issue and we can just go and re-trigger that single job, because yeah, otherwise if you have to rerun all of them, that's definitely bad. So yeah, apologies that you had this frustration. If you hit that in future, please let myself know if I'm about, or on the CI channel. It's probably a good place in Kata CI. Say, oh, this keeps on failing. Does anyone understand why? And or can we can somebody do the rerun? And the static
Okay.
checks, yeah,
Noted.
we had some issues with power runner being down, but they shouldn't be required. So yeah, here we are. So this is what I'm talking about. So I think if you've got write access, then you have the ability to just rerun the failed. So rather than triggering all like 290, you can just re-trigger the ones that failed. So that means your odds of getting a better result are much higher, and it doesn't put as much load on the CI.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you.
And if tests are pending or expected results, then they're just queued up. So it makes no sense to push the complete force push then and restart this, because you're just queuing up more jobs on the runners.
yeah, because that's I can
Okay.
bit behind the
Noted.
curtains. Some of the systems we don't have massive numbers of runners. So like, for example, the S390X, we do have 5 runners, which is pretty good, but 4 of them are currently active. Similarly, power, we've only got 2 machines, and some of these can't actually run everything. So
Okay.
so if they're active, then we will get queued, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So but
And
but yeah, if you're seeing CI problems, please reach out in the Kata CI Slack, and hopefully we'll be able to take a look and help with that.
Okay. Thanks
Yep.
for explaining.
And it looks like Sonko has reviewed and merged, so hopefully that will unblock. I guess it's 18
Yes.
10.831 now. So
Yeah.
or the builder items you're
Very
doing.
much
So
appreciated.
cool.
Okay.
I guess it might be, let's see if there's any. Yeah, we don't have tons more agenda, so it might be worth discussing this just to get people's opinions. Sorry, again, my apologies. I got a little bit confused on this. I went backwards and forwards. So we've onboarded, although it's currently in offline state, but as discussed on last week's call, we've onboarded the 3 Risk 5 builders. So yeah, they are offline, so I don't know if that might need looking at.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look
Yeah.
onto them.
But Ruching was looking at, as we discussed, gradually, incrementally adding support for components. I think the place he started is adding the static checks with support for limited components to start with. Unfortunately, the components that are probably easiest to get running are not so important. So Agent CTL trace forwarder, so I recommended for future, if we can look at the agent and the runtime components, they'll probably be a higher priority items to get working. But we talked about just adding risk 5 in to the standard build checks. But yeah, as Ruching said, lots of stuff would fail, basically. Yeah, we'll have red CI for a long time. So that's why this approach of kind of forking the build checks and incrementally adding components was made, which seems to be reasonable. The other approach I suggested we could consider is going for the builds, the actual build artifacts themselves, rather than the static checks, because we have a bit more freedom in here to build assets. So we could start by just building, I don't know, I think we've merged some VirtuoFSD support for Risk 5, if I remember correctly, in another PR. So we could just start with a single asset here and then increase them. The downside of all of this is the workflows are really annoying to test in PRs, but I don't think we've necessarily got any better ideas unless anyone thinks we should just push it all and ignore the fact it's red until everything's fixed. And I don't think that's ideal, especially now with the new UI from GitHub for PR checks. The reds, which we used to, like the regular reds we had, like the ARM checks failing, you never used to think about them. Or if you were me, you never think about them because you only filtered by required, whereas they all show up at the top. So I think adding it and then having a massive list of RISC-V failures wouldn't be great. So I think this approach is fine, but I was interested to see if anyone from the community's got a better idea of how we could work on incrementally adding support for more components, because we might have to do this, roll this pattern out some more in future for different architectures. I hope that makes sense, because that was quite a lot of rambling. And Ruching, if you'd like to clarify, then please do.
I took a look on the three runners, and they have connectivity issue. I'll try to bring them behind a proxy tomorrow. Probably set. Okay,
Cool, thank you.
never mind.
So people okay with this approach of kind of forking the build checks for the moment, incrementally adding to it, and then when it's complete, merging it back in? Or has anyone got a better suggestion?
At least that this approach is what I did in the Cloud Hypervisor and Rust VM community, and that would bring a lot of trouble to maintainers like you, since our CI needs to manually handled.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's also worth noting. Sorry, I'm going off in related tangents. As people are aware, we have a way to manually trigger the CI, but it's not the full CI, it's just the build and test. So static checks don't have workflow dispatch on them. So I don't know if there's any security issues. Obviously, the more stuff we have workload dispatch on for self-hosted runners, the more things are potentially opened up. So I didn't want to immediately add workflow dispatch, but yeah, that might be something we want to consider if we want to be able to test static check workflows, or we do something different in the way so that we move changes out of the workflow, which I will have a think about. If we can, the less stuff that's in the workflow, the much easier it is, because you don't actually have to edit the workflows. And I think there are some possibilities to improve things in this respect. Okay, I don't think anyone's come off mute, so we will assume that no one's got strong objections, but no one's got better idea either. So, but yeah, that might be something we can hopefully get some more reviews on this as well.
Noted.
Okay, any other topics anyone wants to bring up today? Okay. It's okay.
Wait, one. Just need to find my. I have the network performance issue. I don't know if you're hitting a theoretical limit here or not. I pasted in the chat. So dependent on how many CPUs you cold plug into the VM, you get a multi-queue setup for the VirtIONet and the TAP device. But even with one CPU and one queue on the NIC, I can saturate the NIC to 30 gigabits per second. And if I'm running like 4 streams, it's still 30 gigabit per second. And if I'm running like 8 streams, it does not change on the amount of how many CPUs, aka queues, you have in the VM. I checked the TAP device and the Ethernet device inside the VM. All the usual offloading is enabled, like checksumming and all the other offloads. And also check the CPU utilization on inside the VM, and we are hitting like only 64% CPU utilization, which means it's not CPU bound, so we are IO bound. And I'm still struggling to find out. Oh, and the interrupts are also good. So for the setup of the queues, the interrupts are spread across the CPU, so it's not that one CPU is bogged by all the interrupts. That would be anyway see in the CPU utilization, that only one CPU is like completely bogged up, but they are not. So interrupts are good. Queues are created, interrupts are spread, CPU utilization is down, and I'm still struggling to find out why we are capped at 30 gigabits per second. Looking through the mighty internet, it was suggested that this is like the theoretical limit for what we're doing, like the TAP and Ethernet device inside of the VM. But I'm not sure if this is really true, because on a 100 gig network, you only see like 30 gigabits, and this is a degradation by 70% on some production systems. And Run C can deliver 100 gig, almost 100 gig. I mean, there's no VM, etc. But Run C gives us almost 100 gigabit per second. So I don't know if.
Have you? Sorry for interrupting. Have you tried running the VM without Kata?
What do you mean, just a QEMU?
Yes.
Instance? No, haven't tried that yet.
Okay. And what kind of machine it is?
This is on a DGX, on a 8 GPU 100 gig NICs machine. Enough, plenty of CPU, plenty of memory, plenty of power. On different machines, I'm seeing always the very same results, and this should really happen on these massive beast machines, because they have 2 terabytes of memory, almost 200 CPUs and 8 GPUs.
Are these AMD machines?
No, Intel.
Intel. Okay. And NUMA stuff. Have you checked NUMA stuff?
We don't have yet NUMA support in. Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, independent of NUMA, it works. Oh, let me just think.
And the other thing is the hyperthreading stuff. Is hyperthreading enabled?
I don't know. We don't enable hyperthreading. Yeah, but the thing is, on Run C just works fine without any modification, without any tuning, without anything. It just picks up.
Yeah.
It's
a tab related thing. It's a VM related thing for sure. But
yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Okay, can you share the details of the course of the Intel course?
Yeah, I will update this PR. I need to do some experiments today or tomorrow again, and then I will update this and see Yeah, I'm just baffled that even, I mean, even if it's, I don't know why it's kept to 30 gigabytes, independent if you're using one CPU or 8 CPUs to drive it. So I don't know where this.
There is this multi queue. We were looking at the way we handle in Kata the traffic control, the TC stuff, TC rules.
Mm,
So there is when you add more than one core in the VM, you get a multi queue tap device.
yeah,
I'm not sure if that's if I remember correctly, you saw that we don't add multi queue multiple queues in the VM. We have to.
we are.
We are okay.
We are. So if you, is this open? If you go up a little bit, Steve, please. You see the RX and TX queues.
Okay.
You have 4 receive and 4 TX queues here. This is inside of the VM. The last snippet you're looking at.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's inside the VM. So the queues are created, definitely. And my thinking was also that the TC filter is not working properly. Maybe the TC filter, what we are building is the limiting factor is not distributing the load correctly on the queues. And TC filter today can be built also with BPF. So maybe, but I still don't know. Premature optimization is the root of all evil. So I'm not going to rewrite this TC filter in eBPF. But if the TC filter may be the limiting factor, there are some options we can do there. But I still don't know what's the limiting factor. So I need to look into the TC filter stuff. Maybe the TC filter is not properly distributing it for the queues. I don't know. Still need to look into it.
And another thing that you could try is another hypervisor.
All right, you're right. Yeah, and I don't have, yeah, but we are stuck with QEMU. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean to find out
Yeah.
what's going on because I'm definitely sure that Firecracker should be worse. Maybe Cloud Hypervisor could be better. I don't know.
Yeah, let me try with Cloud Hypervisor just to check. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I needed to add NUMA supporting Kata anyway. But
You know, the NUMA stuff is important because you could be getting interrupts on one core, but delivering them on another NUMA core.
yeah,
That would totally smash the.
yeah, I could pin the. Yeah, one thing is to pin the vCPUs on the correct host CPUs to make sure that we are landing on the very same NUMA node. Yeah, that's another good point. Yeah, but
I'm not sure what's going on with the IO threads of Kemu. So Kemu runs the backend on a separate set of threads, not
yeah,
the vCPU threads. So maybe if we if we if we don't properly set the C group stuff, we could be getting starvation on the IO thread.
yeah, yeah. What I've seen on the host, like in the VM, I have like only one CPU at 64%, but on the host, I'm seeing like 250% for the QEMU process.
I
We may
suspect
be
that
limited. Yeah, we may be limited how the host is pushing data into the VM. So we may don't have even problems on the VM side, but rather on the host side and how QEMU is pushing data into it. Yeah, okay. Maybe the TC filter, I don't know. Still need to look. Yeah, but that's a good point. A la hypervisor, check NUMA. Yeah, I haven't checked that. I haven't pinned the CPUs yet. NUMA on the hypervisor. And then I need to look into TC filter, how TC filter is implemented or done. Yeah. On the other side, has anyone tested Kata with Maltese? So can we support multiple interfaces in Kata? Theoretically, yes, because it's all hot plugs. So Kata would just get yet another interface.
The
But has
code-
anyone
The code
tested
is
multi?
there, but
Yeah.
I have not.
Nobody has tested it. Yeah, maybe this is a exercise for the listener to do, or for myself. Okay, good. Yeah, I will update the issue and see. I'm just curious that one CPU delivers the very same performance as 4 or 8 CPUs with 8 queues or 4 queues. Anyway, okay. Yeah, thanks.
Any other topics no one wants to raise in the last couple of minutes? All right, if not, thanks for joining, folks, and for the discussion. And I will not speak to you next week, hopefully. But so if I don't see you before, then have a good week, and I hope the release goes nice and smoothly. Yeah, give me a shout if it doesn't, and there's anything I can unblock.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks.
See you.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
You.